The sun is not a friend here. It is a physical weight, pressing down on a world that smells of sulfur and baking mud. In the center of a drying riverbed, a mound of red earth begins to move. It is not a rock. It is a king waking up to a nightmare of his own biology. He is the Erythrosuchus, the red crocodile. But names do not matter to him. Only gravity matters. He tries to lift his head, and you can see the struggle. It is a grotesque masterpiece of evolution, a skull so massive, so disproportionately huge, that it constitutes nearly a fifth of his entire body length. It is not just a head. It is a siege weapon welded onto a chassis that can barely support it. Muscles thick as tree trunks cord along his neck, straining against the physics of his own existence. He groans, a low, resonant rumble that vibrates the water in the puddles. Every movement is a calculation of energy. To look left costs calories. To look right costs breath. He is a biological glitch, a creature designed with a weapon too heavy to carry. But he does not leave. He should be moving to the deep shade of the fern forests, where the air is cool. Instead, he paces a tight 50-meter circle around a specific patch of cracked mud. He pauses, lowering that colossal snout until it hovers inches above the dirt. He sniffs. Beneath the crust, buried deep in the cool dampness, lie the eggs. This is the anchor. He is starving. His internal furnace is running dangerously hot, the blood boiling beneath his scales. But the instinct to protect is stronger than the instinct to survive. He is a prisoner of his own legacy. The heat rises. The air shimmers. He opens his mouth, not to roar, but to vent. Heat radiates from the pink lining of his throat. He is an engine on the verge of a meltdown, waiting for fuel that may never come. Then the vibration comes. It starts in the ground, a rhythmic thumping that travels through the mud and into the king's belly. He freezes. His stillness is absolute. He becomes a red boulder, a part of the landscape. A Kanemaeria wanders into the riverbed. It is a beast of the old world, a 2-ton, beak-faced herbivore built like a wandering tank. It is looking for water, blind to the danger merging with the red clay. The prey is massive, dangerous, and thick-skinned. To kill it requires not just teeth, but impact. The king waits. His heart rate drops. He watches the prey with eyes that have seen the rise and fall of dynasties. The Kanemaeria steps closer. 10 meters. 5 meters. It lowers its head to drink from a shrinking puddle. Now, the explosion is instant. The king does not just bite, he launches his entire upper body. The massive head swings down like a medieval executioner's axe. There is no grace in this motion, only terrifying physics. Crack! The sound is sickening, the sound of a tree snapping in a storm. The king's jaws slam shut over the Kanemaeria's neck. It is not a cutting motion, it is a crushing one. The sheer weight of the skull acts as a kinetic hammer. The prey's cervical vertebrae shatter instantly. The 2-ton beast drops without a sound, its lights extinguished before it hits the mud. Dust settles. The silence returns, but it is heavy now. The king releases his grip. He does not roar in triumph. He collapses next to the kill, his sides heaving violently. The exertion has spiked his body temperature to critical levels. Steam seems to rise from his scales. He has won the meal. He has secured the fuel to guard the nest. But in the violent silence of the afternoon, a new problem arises. The scent of copper and raw meat floods the valley, carried by the wind. He has fed himself, but he has also rung the dinner bell. And in the tall ferns at the edge of the clearing, the shadows begin to detach themselves from the dark. Twilight falls like a curtain. The heat does not leave, it simply turns stagnant. The air grows thick, suffocating, turning the valley into a pressure cooker. And in this blue half-light, the new world arrives to dismantle the old. They emerge from the ferns silently. Teleocrata. They are not like the king. They are not built of heavy bone and crude muscle. They are lean, wire-tight nightmares, standing on long, spindly legs. They move with a fluid, twitching grace that looks unnatural. Reptiles running with the upright posture of wolves. They do not roar. Roaring is a waste of energy. Instead, they communicate in a series of sharp, rhythmic clicks and chirps. The king struggles to his feet. He swings that massive armored head toward the sound, but there is nothing there. Just shifting grass. He turns back, and there, standing openly in the fading light, is the scout. It stands just outside the killing radius, staring with unblinking obsidian eyes. It chirps. A challenge. The king takes the bait. His instinct is dominance. He roars, a thunderous sound that shakes the ribs of anyone near. He lunges, the great neck muscles firing to swing the biological sledgehammer. But the scout is gone. It doesn't run, it simply vanishes, sidestepping with a speed that makes the king look like he is moving underwater. Then the trap springs. While the king's head is turned to the left, two more shadows detach from the right. They strike the rear, fast surgical nips at the tail base and the soft skin of the flank. They are not trying to kill him yet. They are bleeding him. The king bellows, thrashing to turn around. But the glitch is now his enemy. The momentum of his own skull works against him. To turn 180 degrees takes him 3 seconds. The teleocrata need only 1. They are dancing around a monolith. They are the hive mind, a single coordinated organism dissecting a giant. The siege has lasted for an hour. The king is bleeding from a dozen shallow cuts. The blood makes the mud slick, and the smell is driving the pack into a frenzy. But the king realizes a deeper horror. The fight has drifted. In his rage, in his clumsy attempts to crush these ghosts, he has moved away from the riverbank. The pack is now circling between him and the clutch. He sees a teleocrata sniffing the ground where the earth is loose. The eggs. Adrenaline floods his system. He looks at the fresh kill, the massive Canamaieria carcass lying in the dirt. It is meat. It is energy. If he eats now, he might regain the strength to fight until dawn. But if he eats, the pack will dig up the future while he feasts. He makes his choice. It is a fatal one. He clamps his jaws onto the leg of the 2-ton carcass. He will not eat it. He will use it. He begins to drag the mountain of meat back toward the nest, intending to build a defensive wall, a barricade of flesh to shield the eggs. He pulls. Muscles tear. The mud sucks at his feet. The weight is impossible. His head, the anchor, drags in the slime. He is trying to move 4 tons of dead weight, while his body screams for oxygen. He manages 10 meters, then 15. The teleocritor pack watches clicking softly. They understand physics better than he does. They wait. At 20 meters, the king's engine fails. The heat inside him hits the critical line. His vision blurs. His limbs lock up. He collapses, dropping the carcass just a few strides short of the nest. He has failed to build the wall, and he has spent his last reserve of energy trying. He lies there, chest heaving, mouth gaping wide. He is now too exhausted to stand, stranded in the open kill box with the pack closing the circle. He chose love over survival, and the penalty is death. The sky breaks. It does not rain, it falls. The Titan has arrived. The monsoon hits the valley with the force of a physical blow. Within minutes, the dry, cracked riverbed is erased. The dust turns to soup. The soup turns to a churning river of sludge. For the teleocritor pack, this is an inconvenience. They are light. They skip over the surface, their wide toes splaying to grip the slime. But for the Red King, it is a coffin. He tries to rise to meet the attack, but the ground betrays him. His massive feet punch through the crust into the soft, sucking clay beneath. He pushes. The mud holds him fast. And then, the true horror of his design reveals itself. His head. That magnificent, terrible head pulls him down. Gravity joins the enemy. He is nose-heavy, tilting forward, his snout submerged in the rising filth. He thrashes a mountain, trying to swim in quicksand. The pack sees the weakness. They abandon caution. They swarm. It is no longer a hunt, it is a butchery. They leap onto his back, tearing at the tough scales, avoiding the drowning jaws. In the chaos, a tiny shadow darts through the lightning flashes. It is the Euparkeria, the opportunist. It does not care about the war between the heavyweights. It sees a path. The king throws his head up one last time, gasping for air. His snout breaking the surface like a surfacing submarine. The Euparkeria leaps. It lands on the king's nose. It uses the dying monarch as a stepping stone, a bridge to cross the deadly mud. It pauses for a microsecond, snatching a flying insect from the air, before bounding away to the safety of the high ground. The future literally walks over the face of the past. The king's eyes roll back. The water rises. He takes one final breath, a mixture of air and mud, and the engine stops. The Red Titan slumps forward. Morning brings a cruel beauty. The storm has scrubbed the sky clean, leaving a blinding blue dome over the valley. The water has receded, leaving behind a silence so deep it hurts the ears. In the center of the devastation lies the mound. The king is dead. His body has slumped forward in his final collapse. His chin resting on the mud, his massive bulk forming a grotesque hill of red scales and stillness. The teleocritor pack is still there. They are gorged, lethargic, sleeping on the king's spine, their bellies full of his meat. They have conquered the giant. They own this world now. They pick lazily at the carcass, ignoring the muddy ground beneath the king's jaw. They do not know. The camera drifts low, sliding past the carnage. past the bone-crushing jaws that are now just a doorway for flies. It moves down into the shadows beneath the king's massive neck. The mud here is undisturbed. The king's final act, the collapse, sealed the ground like a vault door. The storm washed fresh sediment over the sides, but the core remains dry. Buried in the dark, shielded by the corpse of their father, the eggs wait. A tiny sound cracks the silence. Click. On the shell of the largest egg, a fracture line appears. It spreads. A tiny snout pushes against the membrane. It is not the snout of a victim. It is the snout of a survivor. The king is gone, but the dynasty has bought another day. The view pulls back, rising higher and higher. The king's body looks like a fallen monument, a statue of flesh slowly turning to stone. On the highest point of his skull, the Euparkeria returns, grooming its face, watching the sunrise. The old world is dead. Long live the new.